Good morning. My name is Steve Treadwell and I work for a company called Henry Schein UK. So, just who are Henry Schein? It's not a name that you may know, but I promise you that your dentist does. We're globally the largest distributor of products to office-based dentists and doctors. We are an American company quoted on the NASDAQ. We have 19,000 employees. We call them Team Schein members or TSMs. And in the UK, we have just over 500 TSMs. We have about 1 million customers, which may not seem so many compared to some organisations, but when you consider they're all dentists and doctors and dental nurses, then it's quite a number. We also have 300,000 products available globally and about $10 billion of sales last year in 31 countries. So last year we were also awarded the 2020 World's Most Ethical Companies Award in our business sector. And you may ask why. Well, we have a very particular culture, and one of the fundamental beliefs of our culture is that every person is as important as the next. So what that means is that Team Schein members are involved in lots of voluntary activities around the world. Some are globally based, some are locally based, and we're given a lot of freedom to do that under the Henry Schein umbrella. So as I say, my name is Steve Treadwell and I'm the UK and Ireland Director of Business Systems. So what does that mean? It means that fundamentally I'm in charge of all of the computer systems that run the business, from the websites through to the finance systems, sales and warehouse distribution systems, every part of the computer process that the business uses. So a little bit of context. 100 years ago, pretty much today, we, as a community, we were faced with a difficult situation where lots of young men were returning from war with physical injuries, and really our employment environment wasn't set up to properly integrate them into the workplace. But over the intervening years, you'll be well aware of the fact that physical disabilities are no longer really an issue in the workplace. So we've done reasonably well in terms of integration. I'm sure there's more work to do, but we wouldn't dream of not accepting people with physical disabilities into our workplace. So what's the next step? Well, the next step is to fully integrate neurodiverse people into the workplace. Why would we do that? Well, morally, it's obviously the right thing to do, but there are real benefits for our businesses. So some of those benefits are the ability of individuals to have a diversity in thinking. Lots of big organizations, thinking of IBM and Google in particular, are spending large amounts of money finding ways of integrating neurodiverse people into their organization because they see the benefit of out-of-the-box thinking and people with a different perspective helping them to make their organizations more friendly to their customers. We want engaged employees who regard their employment almost as a privilege. Engagement is a really important part of helping employees to feel happy. There are benefits in neurodiversity for the wider team. Primarily, one thing that surprised me through this process is the number of team members who already know someone who is neurodiverse. They understand the challenges that these individuals face when it comes to finding employment, and they're very sympathetic to their situation. So how did I get here in particular? Well, I look after, as I say, a department of people who maintain computer systems, and we build new systems, and we're constantly responding to changes in the business need. So when I'm looking for people to join my department, I really found a couple of years ago that I needed to widen the scope of my search for candidates, primarily because obviously we're based in Gillingham, so we're within the commuter range of the City of London, and that creates quite a lot of competition for employees. And we are, after all, a sales and distribution organisation, so maybe not from an IT point of view, not the most glamorous task, but in my search, I started to wonder why we have a building which is completely configured for physical disabilities, but I've never actually received an application for employment from anyone with a physical disability. And while I was doing that search, it was suggested to me that I also take a look at neurodiverse people. And as I manage a department which contains lots of people with lateral thinking, I'm pretty open to neurodiversity. I understand the benefits of people who have a different perspective and think slightly differently. So I continued my search. I did some interviews. We made some reasonable adjustments to the interview process. In the end, I didn't find anyone that fitted what I wanted, but I was in that mindset. And it was at that point that Bradfield's Academy, back in 2018, contacted me to see if I was open to a program to assist in helping special educational needs students gain employment experience. So when Bradfields came to me, they came with a proposal, and this is an important part of, I think, the lesson that we learned and they learned. The proposal was fundamentally quite simple, to allow an intern to join us for a whole school year with job coach support, so that the intern could gain work experience, add it to their CV, and potentially make themselves more employable in the future. So like most business people, I'm a little bit risk averse. So I considered I had the following concerns. So health and safety always raises its head. Would we need to do anything different? Would the interns be covered by insurance? What happens if the program didn't work out, if we hit a problem and we needed to terminate early? How would our existing team respond to the addition of these interns? Would we have to make lots of expensive adjustments to accommodate the interns? And thinking about what job roles within the company, we have a wide diversity of roles, would be suitable for this program. So Bradfield's Academy presented a really well thought out proposal and an agreement, and they really addressed the concerns. So health and safety, no change really, exactly what we're already doing. Insurance covered as would be any intern working on our site. In terms of what happens if we have a problem, well, the agreement includes an allowance for us to terminate the internship at any time if we came across a problem that was insurmountable. How would our existing team respond? Well, we could address those concerns by being offered training from Bradfields, so they would be able to brief the team and to train the team in how to work with the interns. As to expensive adjustments, well, there was nothing really excessive that was needed. Part of the program is for the students to continue their GCSE English and Maths, and the job coach needed a place, a meeting room, where they could conduct their lessons for part of the day, and that really wasn't a great hardship for us because we have a number of meeting rooms, and it's just a case of making one available. And then what job roles? Well, our job coach Tina came in, and we looked around the site at all the different tasks, and we selected some relatively straightforward roles to start with. I think maybe we were playing a little bit safe, and we've learned a bit since then, but we picked something reasonably easy to achieve. So with my confidence boosted in terms of answers to the questions, I took the proposal to our Managing Director Patrick and the other senior managers in the team, to human resources, to the line managers who would be involved on a day-to-day basis, and they were really positive. We needed some more meetings for planning, to address their individual detail concerns, but the result was that we agreed to take on 3 interns and a job coach from September 2018. So why did we agree to engage with the programme? Just as a summary, really, our leadership is already focused on doing good in the community. It's part of the Henry Schein culture, and that's really useful. It's about the clear case presented by Bradfield's Academy. It was well thought out, it was professionally presented, and it made it easy for us to agree. And we also talked to the wider team, the internal team, and we found that lots of people, because of their knowledge of relatives or friends who were affected by similar issues, they were actually really positive and thought it would be a very good thing to do. So we started the program. Our experience was our job coach Tina came in ahead of the interns to learn the individual job roles, find a way around the building, get to know the individual she'd be working with. We answered all her questions. She worked well with the team in the warehouse. We arranged visits for the interns so that they could have a look around our facility, understand what we did, and get comfortable in the environment. We also ran an interview type process for potential interns, so that it was quite similar to applying for a job and being interviewed, and that would give them the experience and us the knowledge of them. The first few days, no particular problems. Tina was great, guiding the interns through the process in detail. I know that she was also involved in helping them to get from home to work and from work to home, and dealing with all of the practical details that they may have needed help with in the first period, and we didn't have any significant issues. And our internal team really began to engage with the interns. So the word mothering comes to mind. The interns were really taken in the arms of the internal team and helped and assisted whenever they needed anything. So how did it look? Well, here's a few pictures from our experience. Yes, the students were studying at the top left, and they continued to study through that year and were very successful in their exams. The picture at the center, in the top center, is actually from this year, where we added one of the interns to our inventory management department, and the others are of interns in the warehouse. Some doing the packing operation. They really integrated very well and performed very well. So what were the rewards? Well, seeing the interns grow and develop in confidence. They became more and more comfortable in the workplace, and it was really heartening to see a group of interns who initially perhaps walked around with a little bit of anxiety. They gradually became part of our normal team, and they regarded themselves as part of our normal team, and they were certainly heard to express their happiness at being at work, part of Henry Schein. And our internal team commented how well they thought the scheme was working, and that what we were and what they were doing seemed to be really important because it was making a difference for the interns. So the initial internal, the packing job, they achieved a good standard of work in that role, and they did it for some time. And actually, we say it's relatively straightforward, but there's actually quite a lot of complex and detailed things that need to be done, and they adapted well to that. We then extended them into a picking role, and also to put away. And in fact, we measure accuracy as part of our QA process, and the students were more accurate than the job coach actually, so they performed really well. And they began to build relationships within the business with other people. Reception particularly got to know them very well, and later in the school year, we had one of the interns working in the reception area, arranging business travel, and that was certainly a boost for them, but also demonstrated to us that they had abilities far beyond what they were doing in the warehouse. And they demonstrated great initiative and attention to detail. They were careful about what they did, and that's important to us from a customer service point of view. There's also a social element to working with Henry Schein. As you can see, like most companies, we have a Christmas party, but we also do other events through the year, and some of them involve dressing up in silly clothes, and if you want to do that as well, then you can join Henry Schein. But the nice thing was that the interns really got involved in all of these activities, and our existing team, our internal team, involved them in these activities, and they really began to feel part of the Henry Schein family. So the results of the program overall, well, at the end of 2018-19, we sat down and thought about whether we would actually employ any of the interns as permanent employees. And we did make offers to 2 of them, and they accepted those offers, and they are now permanent employees with Henry Schein, and they're making great strides, and I'm sure they have a very solid and rewarding future. And the 3rd intern went on to work with the post office. So I think probably a good outcome for all 3 of them. Bradford's Academy at the end of the 18-19 year morphed into Forward to Employment, so F2E. And I know in the audience today there are some people from F2E, and I'm sure that they'd be happy to engage with you afterwards. So because of the success of that first year, the senior management team decided to extend the program to a 2nd year, to start including office-based roles, as well as roles in the warehouse, and to increase the number of participants. In fact, I had more office-based departmental managers offering places than we could fill. And people feel a bit hard done by that we had to make a choice in the end of which office-based roles we were going to take up. So currently we have 4 interns on site. The program is still proving to be very successful. I think the interns are very happy, and certainly we're very happy with what they're doing, and it feels like something that we would absolutely want to continue to do. So I know in the audience today a number of you are teachers, or you spend most of your time involved with young people and making a positive difference to their lives. And I'm sure I understand the satisfaction that you get from that. However, that's not something I normally, it's not part of my normal working environment, and I must say it's really good to see that we can make a real difference in these young people's lives. It's very rewarding. So in summary, real benefits for the employer and for the interns. We had a straightforward and a well thought out proposal. The existing team were very positive about the program. There were very minimal costs, and that they were far outweighed by the benefits. It's our opportunity to make a real difference, and in terms of finding employees, engaging employees, this is really a very low risk option. So we feel very happy with the program and would be happy to recommend it to anyone.